Well, thank you for what you do. And if you were to pick your top three tips or things that you teach in your books, what would that be?
Number one thing is never invest money that you cannot afford to lose.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Infinite Ability Podcast. I am your host, Nick Yerhart, and we are here to encourage each other to find our own unique abilities. Let's go. This episode of the Infinite Abilities Podcast is brought to you by the one and only Infinite Toolbox, where just like all other toolboxes, we will get the job done, guaranteed. Whether you're an entrepreneur looking to save time, boost revenue, or automate your processes, Infinite Toolbox has got you covered. With powerful tools designed to drive leads, expand your reach, and gain your industry secrets, we help you work smarter, not harder. Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Visit us at infinitetoolbox.com. That's infinitetoolbox.com, and discover how infinite your potential really is. All right, everyone. So today we have Magnus, and I can't wait for him to tell you all about what he does. All right, Magnus, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, Dave. Thanks for having me on the show.
Of course.
I'm Magnus Carter. I'm an author. I've been writing books for over 2 years now. I have about 8 books out. My specialty niche is finance, investing. My books are a little different than the ones that are out there now. I do my best to get rid of the jargon. I don't tell my readers what to do. I just give them the information to give them the option to do with their money what they want to do with it. What makes it, up for their situations that suits them for their goals, for what they're doing now. I have a radio show also that's streamed on every media platform out there called Making More Money for You, and that's also the name of the book series. There's over 60 some episodes out there, and I'm still creating more when I have the time. It's amazing, Nick, on how the end result doesn't justify the starting point. Everybody starts from somewhere, but the way to get to where you want to go can take you anywhere. That's what I found out the most out of all the people I've talked to and experiences I've had.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. We all start at a different place, and then we all end up at a different place. So, when you're, let's say you're getting started out as an entrepreneur, it's okay where you're at, wherever that is. Just get started and make something happen. So, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I've been finding out that the hardest thing is to get started. Once getting started, it's, getting your footing, and from writing, the books and whatnot, this past year has been a whirlwind, as well as because of starting LPS Publishing House LLC. So, like you're saying, I not only wanted to get my books out and information out there, I decided to start helping other authors as well, and writers to, find a place where they can write what they need or write what they want to do, and because we all have stories and we all have information. We all see it from the social media platforms, but not everybody likes that platform, and people are still looking for books. So I decided to, venture into that realm.
Yep. And I read I love books. You really, bring in a lot more knowledge by just reading a book, rather than, listening to it or whatever else you do. Actually sitting down reading, and it's almost like therapeutic in a way at times.
I agree. The best thing that I do like about a book is it takes you somewhere. If you're really invested in that book and the author does what he's putting out to do in his book and his works, it will actually transport you somewhere, whether it's fiction, fantasy, or actually in the journey that he's trying to take you on in a nonfiction way, as well as getting you the knowledge that you're looking for.
Yep, exactly. And I would love to know, what was your story? What got you on this journey that you're on?
Well, I started out as like anybody out of high school, didn't know what I wanted. I decided to go to the city up in New York for a while, think I can make it on my own, and boy, was I wrong. The city can be quite cruel. I worked at a diner, being a busboy and whatnot, and honestly, I had a lot of mentors. They seen me, they see my work ethic. I was meeting the same people day in and day out. I started asking questions. How did they get their suits? Their lunches, they're buying 5-6 different lunches, they're having meetings, they're doing all this other stuff. And that's what I realized. It's like, there's more to life than just working a 9 to 5. They had their money working for them, and I wanted to learn that. So I started stepping up, and I invested a lot. I lost a lot. And then I came back to Pennsylvania after a while and started, I was still investing in that, but I started to invest in myself as well. So I put myself through college. I got 2 degrees in computer networking. One is in networking, and the second is in corporate cybersecurity. So I did that. I'm still a network engineer, 15 years plus later. And, I came home one night to a YouTube ad of all things, after being out celebrating with a bunch of friends of mine over some stuff, after an event, or I can't remember which event it was, but it was one of them. And I seen this YouTube ad with this thing that says, you can make money writing books. I'm like, well, if they can do it, and they made it look super easy to do it, I'm like, in my infinite wisdom, I decided to buy the course. So I bought the course. Next day I woke up and seeing the credit card bill printed out, and it's like, okay, so I did this, and I actually had wrote a note to myself. It's like, do this program, you can do this. So I started doing the research on it and finding out what it takes to write a book and the process, procedures. That actually came natural to me from doing IT work, the processes part and the procedures and whatnot, to actually create a book. And when I was traveling for my job, one of the things were, find something that you can help solve, give information, give value to it. I'm like, okay. And I thought back to that of being in airports, being in restaurants, being, waiting for a car, or even in a grocery store or a restaurant and whatnot. Is I found out everybody was talking about money. Nobody had enough money. Everything was running low. Payday wasn't until like next week. And, that's when I decided to, it's like, okay, that I know this. I have great mentors. I can do this. And I decided to take my knowledge that I already had from my mentors and put it in a book form. And since then, I've been writing books. The first book was Budgeting and Mutual Funds. Broke it down, won a couple awards. Second was attacking cryptocurrency, big buzzwords, computer work, and did the stock market. I have one for IULs instead of investing in a 401k, what the difference is, why to do things. But as we were talking about earlier, Nick, the way I write the books is I give you the information in such a way that it's up to you to decide what to use with it. I'll give you the information. I'll take the jargon out. It's like, okay, this is actually what this means. Because as we know, people like to use jargon to make them feel smarter, make them feel on a higher level. And I level the playing field. But it's up to the person that wants to read the book to figure out what they want to do with it. And that's, that's where I'm at right now. I got the radio show out from promoting the book, doing worldwide promotions, podcasts such as this, TV, collaborations, written works. I've written works for, multiple publications that are out there, including one from my college alma mater, because they're like, you're an IT guy, how did you get into this? And speaking with them and actually speaking to other people about it as well. So,
that's awesome.
Thank you very much. And the journey's not over. So I figured out what I did in nonfiction, and then I transferred these learnings and my knowledge to fiction writing, and figure out do a publishing house. Figure out I help other people, and this is where I'm at right now, and being on your show.
Yeah, and I like what you write about, what your books are about, because every title that you said, that was something that they don't teach us in school.
Oh no. If anything, they're taking more and more of that away from us in school. The business classes are getting less and less, and how to use this app for doing something, and how to use that app, instead of actually doing the paperwork and understanding the terminology for it. Even in college level business courses, I have someone I know that goes to business college. They don't get to that till our fourth year, and it's like 2 semesters of it, and then they graduate, and then they're supposed to become CPAs. I'm like, how is this, relevant?
Yeah, and it's sad, and I've got my own opinions on it. I'm not going to get into that now.
Okay.
But I wish we had more, courses like what you teach, what I teach, what Grant Cardone teaches in school. I just know that would help, everyone more than basically anything else that you really learn in school. That's my opinion. Because, if you don't understand money, if you don't understand finances, it gets really hard. And you can go all backward really quick to a point where you might not be able to turn it around. And that's what's sad. And you used a phrase a little bit ago, and it is how to make my money work for me. That's something that I had never heard of until about 2-3 years ago. And that one thing right there is why the top 1% are the most successful people in the world.
Right.
Because they make their money work for them instead of them working for their money.
Exactly.
So, there's a big difference in that.
Oh, absolutely. Because what we're taught even from the Great Depression, from our grandparents or parents, generations, we're taught about hoarding money. Putting in a checking account that gets 2% interest if you're lucky.
Yeah.
1.5%.
A penny saved is a penny earned.
Oh yes, that one. That's that adage. My grandfather told me that all this other times. It's like all about economics and all this stuff. I'm like, no, but if my 1 penny is not, that 1 penny earned is only making a quarter of a penny instead of that penny going and making a nickel.
Yeah.
What's the point? It's like, oh, it's because you have it. I'm like, don't really know if we have it. So, it's one of the things that you've touched upon as well is, 3 years ago you had it, and it's still not being taught, and still it's still hidden in everything we do. It's settling for the things that are offered instead of actually going out and finding things that could actually make it. One thing that I truly, I learned over the years is money's a tool. It is not the end all. It is a tool to buy things. That's a tool to make money, a tool to have experiences, tool to get you from point A to point B. And, listening to Dana Pena, I don't know if you listen to him or not. I know you mentioned Grant Cardone, but Dana Pena, he's like, if you're not using money to buy happiness, if you can't buy happiness with money, you're not using your money. And it's like, I'll take your money and I'll definitely be happy by using it, finding ways to do it. And
I think when he said that, he was a little more harsh.
Yeah, he was a little more harsh. He left a couple of G's out, a couple of other 4-letter words.
Yeah. He's very harsh, but I like that about him. He's right to the point. He really gets his message across. to the people that might need that, basically tough love kind of education.
Right, because he understands that time is actually money. And to get his point across, he's like, if he can do it in 2 sentences instead of sending a paragraph and making sure someone feels okay about what he's saying. I'm like, okay, I have limited time. Tell me everything I need to know, and go.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, it's people like that. Dan, Grant Cardone, the all the people that actually are helping others create success for themselves.
Right.
And they tend to get a bad rap. And that's because people don't know what they don't know. And when you're, in the mindset that most of us grow up into, where, like, I like to think of abundance now.
Okay.
Like, when I grew up, it wasn't like that. It was like you had to save everything, you had to eat all your food, don't waste anything, don't waste money, save money. Now it's like, I want to live in abundance. Like, everything around me, I want in abundance. And that mindset really changes the way you look at everything in life. And you don't, like, learn or hear things unless you're in this life. Like, when you start to want better for yourself, you're not going to find it in school like we talked about.
Right.
It's like, we just got to get out there and see what is out there and experience the world.
Yes. And also, I've also found out one of the harshest things is people around you don't want you to be successful.
Amen. Yep.
Family members, I've seen it happen through when I put myself through college. I did put myself through college because I never thought I would be working in a factory or something, or I won't be doing anything. But when I put myself through college the first time, I was like, oh, okay. And then you get that little edge thing. It's like, okay, what's he gonna do next? And it's like, well, instead of going to work, I decided to take the extra year and invest it in more knowledge, because for me my colleges had an agreement they would take all my credits. So to get a bachelor's degree was another year. I'm like, instead of, a 2.5 year for a 4-year degree, no brainer.
Yep.
But even our schooling society, the societies that are around schooling and that whole culture and whatnot, that's changed dramatically as well. They're more about getting more VPs, more deans, more this, more that, just so they can say they have it. And then the school tuition is what, 100, I would say, what, 75,000 a year now minimum.
Yep.
So you're talking what, 75, almost over $250,000 for a 4-year degree.
Yeah.
To do nothing and work the rest of your life for. That's don't get me wrong. If you decide to go to college, do the college thing, but get out there, take the grants, take care of all that stuff, whatever you can get for free. Scholarships, everything. I'm all for it.
Otherwise, you're paying for half your life.
Yeah. When I graduated, it was supposed to be 10 years. Now I think it's like 25 years. It's worse than a mortgage.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you for what you do, and if you were to pick your top 3 tips or things that you teach in your books, what would that be?
Number one thing is never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. That's number one. Number two is, before investing, research what it does, the company, what it actually will entail, your payoffs, And the third thing is never quit learning. The day you stop
Yeah.
learning is the day you become inadequate, and someone else is going to surpass you. Even if it's one little small thing, to keep learning.
Always be growing.
Yep.
Because if you're not growing, you're dying.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. So my slogan is "Your abilities are infinite." What does that mean to you?
My abilities are infinite. That means to me that as long as I don't put a limit on what I can do, anything is possible.
I agree. That's awesome. And then how can people reach out to you?
Oh, you can reach me in multiple different ways. You can email me at mcarter, MCARTER at lpspublishing.com. You can also check out my podcast, radio show on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google, Audible, even on Amazon picked it up. So
Awesome.
it's all over the world, and all Magnus M Carter 10 or Magnus Carter 10 on Instagram and also Twitter.
Awesome. There we go. All right, man. It's been really great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nick, for having me.
If you enjoyed this show, please go ahead and share it on your Instagram story and tag me here, the Nick Yerhart. Also, go ahead and share it anywhere else that you see fit, because the only way that I can grow this is by you guys sharing it. I don't sell anything on here. I don't have any sponsors, so let's just get it out there by word of mouth, help more people. All right, everyone. Remember, your abilities are infinite.